I am unmuted. Huge. We good to go? I think we are. Let me check. YouTube, am I live? Hello? 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 Thank you, Stream Elements. YouTube, am I live? YouTube does not seem to want to tell me if I'm live, which is concerning. Twitch is dropping frames. That's how you know I'm back.
Hi.
Will with the tier 1. Appreciate you, Will. 20 months. Holy hell. Thank you, man. Means a lot. I appreciate you. YouTube? Can I, like, access my stream chat? Or does that not work? Bro said, guess what I'm doing. I have no idea what you're doing. The king returns. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. Welcome in, Ty. Okay. YouTube chat finally, like, pops up after 8 years of not doing so for some reason. There we go. Bro said jorking it. I mean, that's what I was gonna guess, but, like, I knew somebody in chat definitely would. So I just, you know, I left the fun up to you guys. It was good, Caleb. Welcome in. All right, so the plan for today. I need to change the title when we do it later. I'll worry about that later. Obviously I've been gone for a while. I abandoned ship. Bro said he's doing a brake job at midnight. Interesting. I get really sidetracked easily. I've started noticing that when I'm, like, editing my videos. I'll just, like, say something and then I just cut immediately to, like, what somebody in my chat says. And it makes for really bad flow when I'm trying to, like, keep a conversation moving. Anyway. Obviously, I've been gone for a while. I've been trying to keep y'all, you know, updated in the Discord. Send my mandatory message a day to make sure you guys know that I didn't, like, pass away. But obviously, I've been gone. So the plan for today, we are not doing Pokemon Nuzlocke. We're gonna just run to some. Shout out my dog who just jumped off my bed. And then went under my green screen to get out of my room. Shout out puppy dog. Anyway, speaking of getting distracted, although that wasn't my chat this time, so I think I get a pass. Anyway, I've been gone for a while, so we're gonna do some casual gold staking. I'm not looking to, like, get win streaks or anything. I'm kind of just looking to farm gold stickers for C++. And I'm just gonna do a little lore drop about what has been going on in the non-Balatro portion of the Focus Shock life. And commentary videos do really well on YouTube, so I'm gonna clickbait the hell out of my trauma. Yeah! So the YouTubers who are inevitably watching this, welcome in. On where I've been, and then after that we're gonna tier list all of the jokes, all the decks for gold stake. We're gonna make a gold stake tier list based on how well do I think every deck in the game performs in gold stake. Bro, you're muted. I'm literally not. I'm gonna crash out. Am I actually muted? I'm literally gonna freak out. Crash out. Am I actually muted? I'm literally not. You're getting a timeout for that. I don't care if you're my mod. No, I'm just kidding. I know my mic has, like, problems here and then, so I'm assuming I actually was muted when you said that. What did you guys miss? How long was I muted for? Roughly. Well, this is going swimmingly. What did you guys miss? Bro said, no, I'm just giving you shit. Okay, I'm actually giving you 10 minutes for that. Okay, I guess I'm not because I don't know how to do it. But if I was a little bit smarter. What's good, Aiden? Welcome in. So yeah, gold stake, lore update. deck tier list. That's going to be the plan for tonight. And then tomorrow I am still taking off, even though I won't comment again until 11:36. Beautiful. You'll do it yourself. See, that's why he's a mod, chat. Take notes. Anyway, I could probably figure out how to do it. I'm just too lazy. So yeah, that's the plan for tonight. Probably going to be somewhat of a long stream since I assume the tier listing is not just going to be like a quick hour thing. Hello, Sexler. That's a way to open. Sure. Welcome in, Hand. Pokemon Pocket has been trolling me. Hang on, before I get into the Focus Shock lore update, I do have to flex my my TCG Pocket pulls. Granted, this was from like 20 packs, but I got so many crazy hits. This is not even everything that I got. I'm going into just chatting for this. I don't even care. I'm like super turbo flexing my wealth in a children's card game. The shiny black. Hello, Focus. Hello. Hey, that's me. Smash like, subscribe, hit the bell. Can you? Hello. Focus, man. Thank you. Shiny Blastoise, right? Shiny Cubone. Focus, hello. Focus, hello. Not me, but like the phone. Shiny Cubone. Not really, you know, an insane pull, but like Cubone's kind of silly. This, again, not an insane pull, but I just really liked the art on this guy. The Sandy guy. Hello? Focus on my hands. There we go. The Sandygast full art. Huge. Cubone has to be my favorite animal. Stream the phone. I don't have like a capture card, bro. This is the best you're getting. And then that sweet, sweet Starmie shiny EX. Hello, man. God. I'm gonna freak out. Focus. Focus! Not me, but smash like, because that is me. Hello. All right, well, you guys get the picture. Shiny Starmie. And then I made my mom open packs last night, and she pulled a shiny Venusaur. So I'm pretty sure I have every shiny EX for the set. Like not even a week after it drops. Except Gengar, which kind of makes me mad because Gengar is my favorite Pokemon. But that's, you know, it's besides the point. Working on GOW Platinum Trophy grind, but I had to drop in. Oh, God of War. I'm an idiot. But I had to drop in to hear Focus lore. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get into that. This is going to be, again, this is probably going to be a YouTube video just so I can, like, clickbait it because commentary videos do really well on my YouTube channel. So we're just going to run some casual gold stake. I'm going to go through every deck, and we're going to do a little story time here. So I haven't, obviously, because, you know, the majority of you are in the Discord, and also the majority of you have a little organ in the human body called eyes. So you probably noticed for the past, I think it's been like 3 days. My favorite streamer that advertises himself as a streamer that streams daily at 11 p.m. Central, except for Sundays. Call to action. See how I fit that in? Smash like. My favorite streamer didn't stream for like 3 days in a row. So I posted like updates in the Discord, obviously, just because like I don't want to completely hang you guys out to dry and just like dip and then come back and be like, yes, sorry, I was dealing with things, but I didn't care enough to tell you. But I was cryptic about it, and that was so I could clickbait it for the commentary YouTube video. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really know why I was cryptic. I guess I just didn't want. I was just cryptic so I could tell the story on stream. So we're gonna do a little story time. I'm gonna walk you through the past like 3 days from my experience. Do we want? This has a gold sticker. I don't care enough to take this. I'm just taking the grabber. Hands are power. Remember that. So this is. God, when did this happen? Chat, when did I send the first message? It was probably like, it was April 30th. So what was that? Tuesday? What's today? Saturday? Second Friday, first Thursday. No, it would have been Wednesday. Did I stream on Tuesday? Where am I? When is it? What year is this? I got the Rule Breaker achievement in Balatro. Oh, I have to do all the challenges. That's a W achievement, though. Congrats. Chat, when was the 30th? Calendar. God. I went to images. Like, that's gonna do anything. Calendar 2025. Jesus. Okay, April 30th was a Wednesday, so I streamed Monday and Tuesday of this week. Okay, this should tell you how in shambles I've been for the past however many days. I think this does not win, but it gets close. Actually, it's ×9. Never mind. We're completely fine there. Anyway. So Wednesday, we had a good stream on Tuesday. I think we did like a couple of stakes of the Pokemon Nuzlocke. I think we got all the way up to Blue Stake. Not completed. I don't think we completed Blue Stake, but I think we completed everything up until Blue Stake, which is actually really huge. If you're watching this on YouTube, videos on that will be coming out pretty soon, so stay tuned. Also, I'm gonna die here because I'm not finding any jokers that I really want to take in my shop, and Smiley Face is gonna pass away. But that's neither here nor there right now. Anyway, so we had a good stream Tuesday night. Wake up Wednesday, you know, everything's going all right. Wednesday actually started out fantastic. Did my morning routine, yada yada. Chris with the follow on Twitch, welcome in, thank you. Wednesday started out fantastic. Did my morning routine, yada yada, so on and so forth. Pretty good day. Talked to the Unseen Explosion. Again, if this goes on YouTube, link in the description, because that dude is an awesome creator, and you should go watch everything that he has to offer, because he is my GOAT, and if you don't watch him, you hate me. So, go watch him. But anyway, talk to him because, I don't want to spoil anything, but an indie dev joined my Discord and reached out to me. This blew my mind, because I'm a dude. I consider myself to be a relatively small creator, so the fact that this even happened to me, I was like, whoa, dude, I made it. An indie dev joined the Discord, and they were like, hey, I saw that you made Balatro content. I'm working on this roguelike game. It's pretty similar to Balatro. It comes out, we're releasing it. They have a demo out right now. We're releasing it in the Next Fest on Steam. I messed with a flashcard run. Wow, voice crack and a half. Welcome in. We're releasing it in the Next Fest on Steam. You should play it because you're a creator and we like creators and we, you know, play our game. And I was like over the moon. I was like, wow, that's like super cool. This has no relevance to the story. I don't even really know why I'm saying it, but like I'm building suspense, okay? Let me tell the story. Does this even win? I kind of doubt it with just flashcard photograph. Anyway, so indie dev reached out to me. I was like, cool. I don't know if I'm going to check this out because I do, you know, I don't know if you guys pay attention to what I post on my YouTube channel, but it is entirely Balatro at this point in time. So I laid it out to him. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do this because I normally just do Balatro. Why don't we get a gold sticker on you? And you know what? I don't know why I sold that because we could have kept it. I'm not buying this. We can't afford a rental. Smash like. Getting flashcard molt, not buying the rental egg, go next. I am very easily distracted. So I was like, cool. I reached out to the Unseen Explosion because I was like, okay, you know, he does Balatro content as well. He does really good Balatro content. So I'm going to reach out to him as well just to see if he's interested in this perchance. And so we talked for a bit. We yapped at each other, if you will. Everything's fine and dandy. Get my videos edited for the day, so on and so forth. Pretty good. Focus Shock, I missed you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you, Kev. Welcome in. Are you sure you don't have ADD? Yeah, mods. Can we get that guy out of here? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so like, I don't know, 4 or 5 p.m. rolls around, and I get a call from my girlfriend. She's like just finishing up drama practice. Preface for the YouTube channel. My girlfriend's in high school. Preface, because a lot of people seem to have a misconception of how old I am. I am not... I don't even know if I can say the word on Twitch. I am not a pursuer of people who dig for coal, right? You know that word. I'm not one of those. I'm 18. My girlfriend's 17. Don't really know why I felt the need to say this. I'm sure the majority of people know, but I'm just making it known. Not a PDF file, if you will. Anyway, she calls me after drama practice. She's like, hey, you're 18? How did you not... Kev, you've been watching me for like months. You've been watching this for like months. I'm 18. Yes. Anyway. Aside, that's beside the point. She calls me after like drama practice. I've been making passes at an 18-year-old. Yeah, somebody check this guy's PC. He's cooked. Anyway, chat, you're distracting me, bro, so much. Happy birthday, Focus. Not yet. It's a week from today, actually. Schlocker, that age. First off, I know I give you a lot of crap for calling me schlock. Schlocker is fire. I don't know what makes it better, but it's kind of funny. Schlocker, that age gap is a little Epstein Island. I'm not even gonna get into that. Anyway, we're taking idle because I don't want to take I was gonna say hologram. What the hell is that Joker? God, I'm forgetting the name. Hallucination. God, thanks for nobody saying it in my chat. Y'all are a bunch of losers. Anyway, just kidding. I love you guys. Why am I playing flushes when I have Mad Joker? I can't tell stories and play Balatro if you haven't noticed. Finish the story. I'm getting there. Okay. She calls me at like after drama practice. And she's like, hey, Focus Shock, because she addresses me by my YouTuber name. I make her address her by my YouTuber name because it's what I deserve, or I break up with her. Anyway, she says, hey, Focus Shock. I don't know if I'm going to leave that in the video. No, I'm leaving that in. It's hilarious. I'm funny. You can't tell me I'm not. She says, hey, Focus Shock, I'm still coming over to your place, right? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, okay, let's go see. For those of you who may not know, they re-released Star Wars Revenge of the Sith for its like 20-year anniversary or whatever. And my girlfriend and I are both nerds. So she was like, do you want to go see this? I was like, sure, that sounds cool. And she was like, okay, well, there's only this is at like 5 p.m. probably. I don't remember if I said that because I have early onset dementia. This is at like 5 p.m. or something. And she's like, okay, well, we should probably eat beforehand, right? Because she has like a curfew because she's still in high school. Again, not a pursuer of coal gatherers. But she does have a curfew. BMW with the 1 bit. Man, I appreciate that. That's really getting me out of this rut that I'm in. Oh, with another bit too. I appreciate that, man. WBMW. Okay, can we not do the 1 bit a billion times, especially when I'm trying to clickbait story time? Can we not do that? Bro threw 3 pennies at the streamer. Actually, Twitch takes a cut. So he threw 3 fractions of a penny. Or 3 fractions of separate pennies at the streamer. Anyway. And then bro gives me 2 bits. I mean, I know that's obliging by what I'm saying, but like, you understand what I mean. Anyway. I'm gonna reroll. We're losing this run. I'm not even like close to... I should probably just reset right here. Like I'm resetting right here. There's no rhyme or reason to this run whatsoever. I was gonna switch to a different deck, but we got an investment tag, so here I am. Anyway. She's like, okay, we should probably eat beforehand. So I was like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. Let me go to the downstairs freezer to see what I could, you know, whip to see if I have some frozen cuisine that I could whip up in a timely fashion so that I don't have to make like a huge meal before we have to catch a movie in what is pretty much like, I don't know, 2 hours. I probably could have cooked something, but I mean, the majority of the stuff that I would have to cook anyways in the downstairs freezer. So I was like, let me just go check the downstairs freezer. I knew Revenge of the Sith wasn't the best, but damn, it destroyed your week. No. Revenge of the Sith was actually a pretty good part. of the week, if I'm being honest. Listening to bro tell stories, feeling like those sloths from Zootopia. You would get 10 minutes for that if I had mods in YouTube, but sadly I'm not that smart. So you dodged that one. So she's like, okay, what do we have for dinner? I was like, okay, let me go check the downstairs freezer. Go downstairs to my basement, flick the light on. Oh shit, chat. There is half an inch of standing water in my basement. It's not like, okay, that makes it sound kind of worse than what it is. There is there's probably an inch of standing water in certain places, but it's not like my entire basement. It's like half of my basement is like wet and the other half is like fine. So I don't know what's happening, but like it's an old ass house, so I'm thinking to myself, oh, maybe like a pipe is like leaking or something, and this has just been going on for like forever. So I don't know. I have speculation, but I don't really know what's happening. I do let slip a few choice vocabulary words of the week. Like think of when I'm having a really bad gold stake run and I'm like, man, I really wish the shop would bestow something good upon me. And dropped a gamer word. No, I don't drop gamer words, unironically. I do not drop gamer words. But think of like a word that I would say when I'm like, chat, I need something really good in the shop. And then I reroll, and there's like an eternal juggler and a perishable rental magic 8-ball in that reroll. Think of the word that I would say in that scenario. Oh, bother. No, it was not, oh, bother. Think of the word that I would say in that scenario, but it was like 10 times as frequent and probably 3 times as loud. And that's what my girlfriend heard over the phone. So shout out, girlfriend, for not like immediately leaving me as I was slinging way too many obscenities. But to be fair, I was freaking out. So, it happens. So I go to address the problem. Bro said, or just bootstraps. That is true. It's the same word that I would say if I see bootstraps in a shop. You know what? You're kind of real for that. Also, we're doing a flush run, so it's making my week worse. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I go to address the problem. I'm like, I gotta call you back because I don't know what the hell is happening. Vicinity of obscenity. Stop making random System of a Down references, okay? I don't even know if that's a System of a Down song or album, but I just know that every like song title-esque reference that you make in my chat is some System of a Down shit. Stop it. Just kidding. It's funny, but like, come on, man. It's the 16th time. We're probably like 20 minutes into the YouTube video, and I'm like 6% of the way through my story. Okay, I'm about to be like Joe Bart in this bitch. All right, let me get to the story. Stop being funny. Finish the damn story. I'm trying. Anyway, so I go to address the situation. I don't know what's happening because I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to plumbing, but I can see that the genesis of the problem is in the circuit breaker room where the water heater conveniently happens to be. And also, is this worth? This is worth. It's fine. We're on red deck. We have more discards, and thus we're finding flushes more often. But I'm noticing that the genesis of this problem seems to be where the water heater is located. It's in the circuit breaker room. And that also I can hear some hissing coming from what I assume to be the water heater in that room. So I'm like, oh, that's really fun. That's awesome. I love that for me. So I call my mom. My mom works a job where she has to just pretend that she's at school and she can't have her phone on or her teachers would beat her. She's not actually at school, obviously, because she's like almost a 60-year-old woman. No shade to my mother. Genuinely, she's like one of my favorite people, if not my favorite person in the world. But she is like a 50-year-old woman, and I give her crap for it every time I can. I said 50, almost 60. Smash like for making fun of the elderly. Anyway. But she works a job where her teachers, her metaphorical high school teachers will yell at her if she has her phone on. So I call her probably a baker's dozen times because I'm freaking out because there's an inch of standing water in certain places in my basement, and she's not picking up her phone at all. Which, like, not her fault, but like I was just a little bit angry. I was saying more of the perishable rental 8-ball words. Bro said that's not making it into the video. Well, now it definitely is. Anyway. Do we do shortcut here? We already have a gold sticker on it. I don't think we need it. Anyway. Hermes pretty cool. So she finally gets home. We address the situation. It's a water pump problem. Or not a water pump, a water heater problem. Our house is old as hell. And when I say old as hell, I mean old as hell. So our water heater has gotten to the point where it has essentially eroded, and there's like a pinhole in our water heater. So that's the genesis of my down spiral this week. Is I have had no running water for the past like half a week. And that's honestly, if I'm keeping the stack, that's like pretty much it for the story. There's like somewhat more to it, but it's essentially, you know, I just needed a few days to myself if I'm keeping it real. Because you know, not having running water and also the financial implications of having a water heater that has essentially eroded and there's a hole in it. I was stressing a little bit because we're not exactly like a wealthy household. So if I'm just keeping it a stack, if I'm just keeping it $1.50 with y'all, I was like really worried that we weren't gonna like be of a we weren't going to be of financial status to be able to afford to like get this fixed. And so I was just kind of freaking out about that. I'm also very like, I didn't really realize this until after we didn't have running water. Bro said, "You ain't Warren." What does that have to do with this? I can imagine someone just threw 7 pennies at you. Yeah, the bits. It's actually 6. But something else that I noticed in this adventure, if you will, is I get really stressed out when I am like not hygienic. I did not think that that's something that I took that seriously. Thanks for the 2 more pennies, BMW. Really saving my ass with the water heater here. Anyway, but yeah, I didn't really like think that not being able to shower for multiple days was gonna impact me the way that it did. Don't spend it all in one place. BMW, I'm trying to clip farm a sad story and you're giving me money. Stop it! Just kidding. Just kidding. I love you guys. It's a joke. It's a joke. Oh, okay. I said White Knights, keyboard warriors. Same difference. Let's be honest here. I forgot about stream. I missed the story. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, bro said run it back. What do you mean run it back? Ooh, should we do... That works. I'm fine with that. Especially with the reroll voucher. Pretty sweet. Sure. Give him money after he's done clip farming? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Or you can just give me another penny. Appreciate that, man. That's really getting me out of this rut that I'm in. Smash like for Wilson. Anyway. But yeah, I was just like... It's been a week. Should I go on to Twitch? I mean, you're fine where you are. It is what it is. If you want to go to Twitch, go to Twitch. But I'm not gonna be like, go to Twitch or I don't like you. You know, go to where you want to go. Bro, pronounce his BAME. What do you mean? Big Money Waster 1. I know him personally. What do you want me to say? Bro said don't go to Twitch. Okay, somebody told you not to go to Twitch, which of course means you have to go to Twitch now. That's just how these type of things. Gold sticker on you. I guess I already have one on Card Sharp, but that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna sell you. That is like what I wanted to hit least of all, but that's okay. That's also what I wanted to hit least of all. Can I get 1 Jupiter? Thank you. Remember to use your Prime sub to pay for Shock's water heater. Can we mod that guy? Can we mod that guy? Lily went to Twitch. W Lily. Appreciate that. So anyway, yeah, I took a couple of days because I wasn't able to shower, and that made me feel like shit. And also, I didn't think that I was going to be able to... I say I, like I'm the singular person in my household. I live with 2 other people. We're all, you know, it's a family house. But I was feeling like shit because I hadn't showered, and that just makes me feel nasty, and I really don't enjoy that. And I was also feeling like shit because I didn't think that, you know, we were gonna be able to pay for a system so that we could shower again. You know, one of those things. So I don't know. I was just like kind of passively freaking out, and then yesterday went to my girlfriend's place, had a really nice time. She let me use her shower there. That felt really nice. Again, shout out girlfriend, W person. Designation with the lurk, appreciate you. Not showering doesn't seem like a problem for you. Thank you, Baja Bussy Blaster. Wise words, wise words. The prompt should have been schlurk. Shut up. But anyway, so yeah, I just, you know, I took a couple of days because I was like, wow, I feel like shit. This sucks. And I was like freaking out about all that stuff. So I came home from my girlfriend's place. It was a very fun time at my girlfriend's place, but immediately after getting home, I locked in and remembered all of the shit that I was stressing over. And I walked in the door. I lost to the needle, which really didn't help. Did you shower at girlfriend's place? Yes, I said that. Did I not say that? I did shower at girlfriend's place. But I walked in the door and I was just like feeling really bad about everything going on. And my mom could tell that something was up. And she was like, what's up? Focus shock? Because I also make my mother address me as my YouTube handle, or otherwise I don't make payments on the house, and then, you know, she has nowhere to live. So smash like for me. But she was like, hey, what's up? Focus shock. Bro said Schlurl friend shout out. I'm not Schlatt, bro. Just because my name is Focus Shock and people call me Shot. Okay, I guess it's kind of the same thing. You know what? I'll allow it. But yeah, essentially immediately after I walked in the door yesterday, my mom was like, hey, what's up? Something's bothering you. I can tell because, you know, she's my mother and she has eyes. And I essentially just like immediately after walking in the door, I was just like, yeah, we don't have running water and I don't know if we're gonna pay for it. And I was like not bawling, but like I was crying because I was like a bunch of these things. And she essentially was just like, we're gonna be fine. You're doing your part. Because that's another thing that I was stressing about was like, shouldn't you use Zodiac to find the cards you don't have gold sticker on? Let me just play Gold Stake and tell a story, okay, Aiden? God. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was just going to run through all the decks in order because it's kind of just a casual little night. We'll hit Zodiac eventually. What's up, Levi? Good seeing you. He's venting in general. What? Have you heard of Sifu? It's a game where you fight people, and if you die, you get older. You deal more damage, but lose health. In short, once you beat a level, the next level will continue at that age. Very addicting. I've heard of Sifu. I have not played it or anything. But yeah, essentially, because another thing that I was like really worrying about, specifically me, if you don't know, this is my full-time job. And it's a very emotionally fulfilling job. I love what I do, and I wouldn't trade what I do for the world. But it's not a very financially fulfilling job, so I was worried about being able to pull my weight because I pay rent, but I pay rent off of like a nest egg that I've saved up from like high school jobs. So I was worried about being able to pull my share, and that was like the majority of where my worries were coming from. And my mom essentially just pulled me aside and was like, dude, you're doing fine. We're gonna be fine. You're pulling your share. Lock in. And I was like, wow, thanks, Mom. That was a remarkably short speech that, you know, actually worked. That was like super cool. No, we had a long conversation about it. I cried. Cry more if you don't cry often enough. It's good for you. I was saying that kind of like a joke, but like unironically. But she was essentially just like, yeah, we're gonna be fine. We're chilling. Love you. And I was like, thanks. So that made things a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it a stack. Great mom. That's what I'm saying. W mom. W mom's in chat. This is a real vulnerable story, bro. I feel like I know you better. Yes, good. Yes. The clip farming is working. No, I'm just kidding. I am like kind of farming here because I am going to post this on YouTube because as I've said about a milli-banillion times in this video, commentary videos do really well on YouTube, so I am kind of farming here. But like, genuinely, like I appreciate that. So yeah, that's where I've been. I've just been worrying about all that shit, and I didn't really want to stream. I don't. It's something that I need to get over. It's like a big get over it moment for me. Can't cry. I gotta lock in like Kratos and go out like Cobain to make myself mysterious and tragic. See, that leads really well into my into my next thing that I'm gonna say. I really gotta get over it. I don't even remember what I was gonna say. That actually just like wiped my brain. God damn. Anyway, dude, maybe my friends aren't kidding when they say that I'm senile and have dementia. I like deadass forgot. I had something like really prophetic that I was gonna say, and that deadass just like Men in Black neuralized it. Bro said nonchalant, but like SCH. Okay, why are we doing the SCH thing? It's SH shock. It's not SCH shock. Chat, should I change my name to Focus SCH shock? That'd be funny. Get your bag, clip farm more, start crying. You right. You right, actually. I gotta lock in. You right. Water heater ain't gonna pay for itself. We have fun here. But yeah, essentially I was just like, okay, this is what I was gonna say. It's very prophetic, so pay attention. I'm like the smartest person you know, probably, so everything that I say has weight to it and should be taken 100% seriously. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I don't like saying that I needed like a mental health break because I'm a man and we aren't supposed to have feelings, so that feels cringe to me. But like, I needed one, man. I'll say it. So I gotta get over that because like I could have streamed, but like I was not in a good headspace, to say the very least. I was not having fun. Bro said schlet over it. Yeah, can we get 10 minutes on that guy? No, I'm just kidding. We'll buff 2 pair just because why not? We have delayed grat, so 2 pair isn't that bad. But yeah. So that was essentially the escapade for this week. During double API. What is double API, bro? Oh, I remember what that is. Wow, I am really white for asking that question. I would rather watch a feel-good shock than a sad shock. That's what I'm saying. And like, yeah. I didn't want to stream when I was like, not in a good headspace. But I'm better now. So it's good you took a break. That's what I'm saying. But so we're chill now. I mean, I still don't have running water. Feel good shock is infinitely better than sad stinky shock. Well, I am kind of still stinky shock. We still don't have running water. And we're probably not going to for a second, but like, again, if I'm keeping it a $1.50 with y'all, I mean, I live in the woods. I'm like a backwoods goober. So I mean, the financial aspect of it was like first and foremost, like 99% of my stress. I could really give a shit if I have running water, dude. We collected rainwater. That shit was like some Ren Fair shit. That's like, I really don't care. I'll either stench max or I'll just dip myself in a bucket of water and then it's funny. Okay, so like that was not really my concern. It was more so just like, that's bad. I don't know if we have money, right? But yeah, I got that sorted out, so we're chilling. Just jump in a lake or river. Well, I would, but like I don't live on like a lake property, and I feel like it would be kind of in poor taste to just go to like a public ass lake, like a boat landing or something, and just like dive in, start washing my balls. So I'm not doing that. I'm essentially just bumming showers off of my girlfriend right now, or like I said, I'm just gonna use like rainwater or some shit like that. Bro said, what is this, medieval times? Public pools? I'm gonna wash my ass and balls in a public pool. Hand, I want you to think about what... I was gonna say about what leaves your mouth, but I guess you're not like physically talking. So I want you to think about what your fingers type on your keyboard. Look at DM. There are showers in a public pool. Oh, that's actually true. Those cost money, though. But, like, that is a good solution. But I can also just go to my girlfriend's place and be fine. No, Will, it's fine. I appreciate you, dude. I check DMs. That is, like, that's, like, completely fine, but I appreciate y'all. Get a gym membership. I play Balatro for a living, dude. What do you think? I'm gonna go to the gym? And also, chat. I've just, these are good solutions, but like, low on money. Low on money. There are showers in the gym. Again, I can just mooch off my girlfriend. Which W girlfriend? Mischief 101 spotted. Mischief 101 in my chat. I'm pinning the message. Everybody say W girlfriend. Everybody say W girlfriend. Anybody who has not said W girlfriend in 5 minutes is getting banned permanently. Not clickbait. Not kidding. Pinned the message. Everybody say W girlfriend. There's a difference between taking time for yourself genuinely, like yourself, and people that need a mental health day because they got a 95% instead of a 100% on their Friday fun quiz. I mean, yeah, that's like, yeah. Maybe this is a dumb question, but can't you use the hose water? Isn't it separate? I don't know. So the other thing is I live out in the boonies, in the woods, like I said. So I am probably one of like 6 people in the entire United States that still goes off of well water and not like a city system. So I don't know if a city system works differently where it is separate, but everything is connected, I'm pretty sure, in ours. I could be wrong, but I don't think we even have access to that. Use me as your shower. I produce a good amount of liquid. Yeah, can we get that guy out of here? He lives with Bigfoot, like almost dead ass. Like, for real. I use well water as well. Hey, Aiden and me, locked in. We got well water, peak for real. Caleb, Aiden, and I, locked in. Anyway. Hot should be separate. Well, no, we shut off, like, the water heater is the problem, but it goes through the main drag. And if we keep, like, running water through it, it's just going to continue leaking. It's not, like, a separate thing. So we just shut off the water. Bro said not in front of the Schlur... Okay, first off, Schlur friend? Really? Schlurl friend? Brother, what? Nah, they family. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Alright, anyway, I'm going to do one more gold stake run. What did people want to see? Let's do Zodiac deck because somebody asked for it in chat. I'm going to, like, do one lock-in run, and then we're going to get into the tier list. Anyway, that's the Yap Sesh. I'd have to do more research for more rural places. Yeah, I don't know how it works, but our water is off so that our water heater doesn't, like, overfill and flood the entire basement again. All flames run? Do an all flames run. Could never be me. I live in a civilized land. Yeah, well, I can't really say anything about that because I honestly like cities better. So, yeah. Thanks for rubbing it in. Ass. Just kidding. What about that blackjack run? Blackjack run? Oh, where we can only play stuff that goes up to 25. Chat, should we do that? Or 25, goddamn. 21. Chat, should I reset and do a blackjack run? I'd be down to do that. It's not gonna go well, but I'd be down to do that. God, voice crack and a half. I live in small town, semi-rural Nebraska. Yeah, so probably like the same thing. Sure. All right, let's do the blackjack run, I guess. And then we'll get into the tier list. Well water is the superior water supply, and I'll die on this hill. I mean, it's going out the door, but like I 100% agree. Not sure unless I were to see it, but there's probably a way to shut off or block what goes to the water heater, and then you could use an outside spigot to get bucket water. Okay, I'll look into it. I'm not certain, but I'll definitely look into it. Blackjack run sounds like real torture. You already can't shower at home. Well, I'm not gonna lock in and like, I'm just gonna play like 1 or 2 gold stake blackjack runs, and then if we don't win, we don't win, and then I'm just playing. Then I'm just doing the tier list, right? Like, it's not a huge deal. I live in my town, so we were on city water, but many people out of town are on well water. Yeah, that's exactly how it works in my town as well. All right, what deck should we do this challenge on? Erratic deck might be nice just to get more lower cards. Plasma deck, since we're going to be playing lower cards, is probably better, so we have more chips. Probably kind of cheating, though. Anaglyph gives us no benefit. Painted deck is pretty good. Zodiac is no immediate benefit. Checkered deck and Abandoned deck are both just like intrinsic benefit. That's a word that I used correctly, right? What's the challenge? We're doing a blackjack challenge, I guess, because somebody in chat wanted to see it. So no, the cards that we play can't add up to more than 21 at any given point. That's the challenge, right? Well, like, fill me in. Intrinsic? Do you mean inherent? Probably. Why is well water better? I've only ever lived in suburb areas, except that one time I lived in shithole Long Beach City. Essentially, just because it's like not necessarily cleaner, but like I'm gonna sound like a complete I'd fill you in any day crazy. Blackjack on black deck, you know what? We'll do that, even though it's gonna be catastrophically terrible. Essentially, it's just like I may have only spent a third of my life on well water, but that shit was better than city. Yeah, essentially, I'm gonna sound like a super like alt-right conspiracy theorist when I say it, but it's essentially just because the city puts a bunch of shit in the water to like ensure that it's clean 100% of the time. It's not exactly 1-to-1 because like chlorine, if you drink it, is bad, but it's essentially on a much lower scale. The same idea of like you put chlorine in a public pool to keep it clean. City water they do that with like the city water table. They put a bunch of shit in it to make it like essentially not last longer, but you guys get what I'm saying. They put a bunch of shit in it to like keep it clean for longer periods of time. I'm also going to unpin my girlfriend's message just because it just says true, which like that's kind of funny, but it happens. But it essentially is just like it just doesn't have a bunch of extra stuff, so there's not like a minerally taste to it like you'll find in most like city water tables. The water in my town is heavily chlorinated. We buy distilled water to drink. Okay, so maybe it's not maybe it's not a maybe it wasn't on a like super smaller scale. Be cleaner for if everyone got it. Yeah, but it's also a huge hassle. And also it's on its way out because there's some kind of shit where like if you have well water because it's like on your property and the city isn't providing it, it's essentially just free water, right? Oh yeah, Caleb literally just said that in YouTube chat. No additives, and it's independent of municipal issues like shortages and I'm assuming water bills. Yes, we don't get charged a water bill for well water. So like that's also a big issue, big benefit for it, and also why it's not like It's not going to be industrialized, so to speak. People are not like well water is not going to be a thing that like everybody has, because it would not be efficient for one thing, but also the government can't charge you money for it. And they don't like that. Essentially free aside from maintenance. Yeah, exactly that. Anyway, my mom has city water and it's not that good, so she has filters. As to my main town, it's not that bad. Right. Yeah, exactly that. All right, anyway, now that we've spent literally like 10 minutes talking about well water versus city water, my chat wants me to do the blackjack challenge. I don't know why I'm like saying this like a YouTube intro. I pre-record all of my YouTube intros. Anyway, you only pay the electric for it. Yeah, right. Because like your system is electric, but other than that, there's not like a independent water bill. Anyway, I record all my intros. We're just gonna do this. All right, blackjack challenge, lock in. Probably not a good idea to do this on gold stake, and especially not a good idea to do this on gold stake black deck. But here we are. Immediately, this is gonna be like the Pokemon mod where we can like only play pairs and 2 pairs if we don't want to just immediately pass away, which kind of blows, especially on black deck. This is 21. Okay, so here's the question that I'm gonna ask chat. Do non-scoring I'm just gonna keep it simple and say scoring and non-scoring have to add up to less than 21. So we'll play the 20 here. This is not gonna be possible on black deck, is it? We're gonna have to get a good seed. I think in my area we have something called secondary water. It's runoff from the Wasatch Mountains. Probably butchered that pronunciation. For lawns and stuff, it used to be free, but now it's metered, bro. That's actually crazy. I don't think they should count. It makes it so much harder. Yeah, but that's part of the fun, dude. I'm previously a Nuzlocker, okay? I don't play games to have fun with them. I play games to make them impossibly hard and then wonder why I do that to myself, okay? Okay, so notably aces are very powerful. Maybe we do like an ace build, because aces in blackjack count as either 1s or 11s, whichever is most convenient. That seems like it could be kind of good. This is going to be impossible on black deck, like dead ass. This is not going to work. Isn't secondary like untreated water? I think so. Flushes are impossible without deck fixing. I mean, yeah. Flush house is going to be much better for this challenge than like just generic flush, I have to assume. Fish for like a low full house after this pair, maybe. It's wishful thinking, but like maybe. 5, 10, 15, 19, 23. Shit. All right, well, we can play this. And then maybe we hit another 3 of a kind. Another 3 of a kind I don't even think would do it. 7, 14, 18, 22. This is going to be a lot harder than I thought this was going to be. Can't wait for the flush 5 aces. Play the non-face deck. Somebody said, we got to do it on the black deck just because Ty, my mod, said, oh, blackjack on the black deck. And I think that's funny. I do not have a lurk command. But thank you for the lurk, Lily. Appreciate you. All right, anyway. 1, 2, 10, 18, 21. This is a good hand. 116. Never mind. 9, 18, 20, 22. Shit. 7, 14, 16, 18. I think if we can find 3 2 pairs that we can play. Oh, wait, this is perfect, right? This wins? Yes! Okay, we finally made it past blind 1. What is that? Like our 4th attempt or something? And we immediately get perishable rental flower pot. That's actually wild. Okay, Mystic Summit is good because we can just play pairs. That's perfect. Because we don't want to be, until we get like deck fixing, we don't want to be scoring a ton of cards. This is also like actively kind of hurting with my muscle memory because I want to be getting rid of like low cards to find the higher point value cards. But that's actually bad for this challenge because then we can't play all of the high point value cards. I think ace through 5 just wins here, right? Because it would be 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. Yeah, ace through. So we just discard for ace through 5. Straight. Huge. Canio for this challenge is insane. Probably don't need agate just because we already have good plus mult. We just want like planet scaling and or chip jokers and or econ. Okay, I think 3 of a kind 6s is perfect. Six, 12, 18. Burglar is perishable rental, so we're not doing that. Could go for the Arcana pack expecting money, but that requires having good luck, which you know how that works with your boy. But I'm going to do it anyway. Lover's Chariot Moon. Wow, those are all exceptionally terrible. Actually, for the time being, Chariot, making our high cards into steel is probably good, because we're probably never playing our high cards ever. I like 3 of a kind aces. That probably just wins, no? One, 2, 3, 6, 10. Ship it. Nice. Ooh, Wii Joker's really good with this challenge. Takes away a lot of our money, but I actually like that quite a bit. Okay, immediate, just like complete ass hand. I mean, really good hand if we were doing like any other challenge, but just complete garbage for what we're trying to pull off. 8, 16. This is 21. Ship it. I did my first break job. Shout out, Will. W chatter. I really don't want to play this as a high card because we probably just lose, but like we kind of want to scale the Wii, right? 10, 20, 21. Ship it. Yikes. 7, 14. Yeah, I don't think we win here. 7, 14. We can't stack anything on top of this. Nor can we play the 2. This is our best hand. Yeah, we're going to have to get exceptionally lucky for this challenge. All right, attempt 4, I think. Well, this is going swimmingly, isn't it? 18. I guess just to get rid of another card, we'll go 19. Ship it. White stake shenanigans? Nah, what am I, a coward? 10, 20. Or we could go with the low pair. Cycle out a bunch of lower cards. That's kind of stupid, though. Because we're not going to be able to play more than like 1 or 2 high cards. So I think we just do this and we're fine with it. Ship it. I need 1 more 2 pair. It's not one we can play, unfortunately. 8, 16. This is 21, 26. So I just got to play this and this doesn't win. That's the sound of a real man. Yeah. Yeah. Thoughts on Harry Potter? It's like okay. I don't mind it. It's a cool series, but like, I don't know. It's not incredible. I think this is attempt 5. Starting off with the 2 pair, 10, 16, so we can't fit another higher card in. Ship it as is. 72. Yikes. Well, that sucks. Yeah, I think we're cooked. Unless we get a really lucky 2 pair. Yeah, I was going to say we would have to top deck a 6 and an ace. And we would probably still die. Seven, 7, 5, 5 is 24. This is, I mean, the 3 5s is a good play. 3 of a kind is always nice, regardless of rank. Get rid of our higher cards so we can maybe play a 2 pair. This is 14. God, I have to be good at math, man. 17, 20. I didn't go to college, bro. You can't expect this from me. This is 22. Shite. Oh, I think this is just toes the line. 1, 2, that's 10. Ship it, 12. We got another run. Thoughts on touching your rotor while driving? Don't do that because somebody in my chat just said don't do that. Well, banana would be really nice, but we pretty much have to play 3 hands. And we're on black deck. Wow, these are both exceptionally exceptionally terrible. And they both get us killed. Yeah, that's just kind of how she goes, man. This is 6 plus 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. 18. Play this, ship it. 96, yeah, we're cooked. 10, 20 here. Get rid of all these Johns. Triple 8s, that's 24. Could go for a straight, I guess, with an ace. But now we're probably cooked. I'm sleepy. Good night. Good night, gangsta. Appreciate you being here. Hey, thanks, Afflictions. Appreciate you, man. Welcome in. Yeah, we're just cooked here. GG's. Alright. I'm gonna fiddle with this run until probably the hour-and-a-half mark, and if by the hour-and-a-half mark... I'm gonna wait a second to say anything in case my mic muted. If by the hour-and-a-half mark in stream I don't have a run that's, like, going anywhere, I'm just gonna go to the tier list. This is 14. That would be 24 for that 2 pair. So let's do this. That's kind of nice. 10, 20 plus 4 plus 3, 17. Ship it. 68. This is a really nice hand, and why Abandoned Deck would be ideal for this challenge, but we got to do the funny thing and play the Blackjack challenge on Black Deck. This is 8, 16, 17, 18, 19. Notably, this gives us the extra $1 from hands, which is very nice for getting banana, potentially. Unfortunately, this shop just decided to cuck me. Ooh. See, I like this more, but it's perishable rentals. This is actually ass. I have to go with Blackboard, which I'm not super enthused about, but I feel like that's not actually that bad. Fibonacci? Yeah, because we had money for Fibonacci. Right hand? We had money for Fib. An $8 Joker on Black Deck. Let's do this. It's flying a little close to the sun. Immediately punished. 7, 14, 18, I guess. Now we're cooked. 4 gore, you're chilling. Just giving you crap. You're okay. I guess we'll just play this. Yeah, no, we're dead here. Like, almost certainly. $19. I mean, if we could have gotten Blackboard to proc, this would have been good, but it's just not in the cards. What are your thoughts on Arby's, fans? No taste buds. Just kidding. I've never been to Arby's, but I've heard nothing but bad things. All right. I've already forgotten what attempt this is. I think it's like attempt 7. Somewhat of a promising start with the low straight. I think I'm going to play into that. Could keep the 6s, but that's like unplayable with the majority of things that we're going to draw into. Huge. Play the low straight. Just pair of 7s. No, pair of 7s does not even get close, but this is 7, 14, 16, 18, right? Ship it. Damn. Pair of aces. Banana in the shop. Okay, never mind. Foon pack. We just want mult. That is not what I meant, but we'll take it. That's really bad, actually. One, 2 plus 12 plus 5. That would be 19. Ship it. It's not awful. If we can ensure this Bloodstone always procs, then it's pretty good, but like that's not happening, to be frank. That's 16. How many 2s have we already seen? We've only seen 1 2. I'm gonna hold on to you. Ship it. Not looking like we're gonna be winning. Unfortunate. We actually did get kind of close. I feel like the ideal strat is just hard greed for like potential full house, right? Full house aces specifically. Well, we did not get it. 14, 20. Ship it. 16, 18. Ship it. Should be getting rid of the ace here, but yeah, okay, we're cooked. GG. What should I do to my car? Fill it to the brim with Noodles and Company chicken parm. I think this is attempt 8 or 9. I've already forgotten. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm just going for low straight here, right? Well, game had other plans. This is 20. Ship it. This is 15, 20. Ship it. And now this doesn't win, I don't believe. Nope. Investment tag would be really nice if it didn't immediately kill us. That is signing a deal with the devil. Pretty bad. 3 2s in the deck, 3 4s as well. Just get rid of a 2. Hope to top deck a 4. 8, 16, 18. Ship it. How many 5s? 4 5s in the deck. Let's just go for low straight. This is 21. Ship it. Unfortunate. This is 10. Or 20. Well, this is a fun challenge. This is a fun challenge. I'm saying that a little ironically, but like, I am genuinely intrigued as to whether or not this challenge is winnable. It absolutely is. We just have to get like insanely lucky. There's part of that getting lucky. Low straight into pair of queens, since we can only make a pair. Could also just do this, since we have to play an extra hand here anyway. Let's just do this. Doesn't really matter, does it? Okay. We had a 15 scoring hand and then 2 20s, right? Well, none of those matter. Saturn is slightly intriguing, but I think especially for early on, before we have any deck fixing, these are both insanely bad. I think early on, before we have any like actual deck fixing, we just want like general plus mult. Probably just gonna try and muscle my way to a aces and fives full house here. Most likely not happening, but we'll see. Unfortunate. And now we just lose. This is 10, 12, 18. Chip it. And now we die, because I just am relegated to playing pairs. Unfortunate. Next. Excuse me, God. I'm just going to arbitrarily say this is attempt 10 because I forgot again. This is 14. This would be 20. Just on top of that, so we can't do that. Ship it. I've been watching too much Doc Spectored, man. Ship it has been permanently incorporated into my category, into my vocabulary. And I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that. This is 20. We'll play the 21 here just so we can maybe luck into a 2 pair 6s and 3s. Because that would be 18. Don't know if that probably doesn't even score us out, actually. Well, we're just getting lucky. Nope. It's like attempt 900. I don't remember. I don't think it's quite that much. I'm just going to call that previous attempt 10. So this is attempt 11. 10 plus 12. Shit. All right, well, regardless, we can do this. And that's still pretty nice. We actually could have gotten rid of the 8 there, which is what I should have done. But that's okay. Okay. 8 and 10, 16. Ship it. Why did I get rid of low cards? Those are my only scoring options. Yo, I'm actually an idiot. This is 21. Does this bail me out here? Just barely. It's in the box. Runner that I can't afford. Dusk that I wouldn't want. Oh, that's really nice. That is huge. Hollow Scholar is actually so fire. You guys don't understand, because we want to be playing aces because they're the lowest rank. Fully erect right now. Anyway. Ship it. This is 3. Bang. Supernova. Do we care about Supernova? Probably not. This is going to carry as long as we can find our aces, so we probably just want to find... we probably just want to save money for, like, deck fixing. There's an ace. Okay, we have an ace through 5 straight. That's really nice. Probably wins after Hollow Scholar. Scholar is the GOAT for this challenge. This might be the winning run just purely because Hollow Scholar is, like, so incredibly lucky for us. Also wouldn't really be mad at Hieroglyph, but actually we're on black deck. Yes, I absolutely would be mad at Hieroglyph. That's like horrible. Let's take an Arcana pack, see if we can't start fixing a little bit. Hey, what's up, Ginger? Good seeing you. I really don't want to be deathing things if they're not an ace, so let's just grab the Hermie for extra money. We probably survive this next blind anyway if we can luck into any of our aces, which I don't think is asking that much. Well, this is awkward. This is 16. Ship it. This is 20. Ship it. Yikes. Yeah, we're cooked here. Damn. Tragic. Shouldn't have said shit about the winning run, bro. 4, 7, 12, 21. That's got to be a good luck charm. Nope. Glad to see you not dead, Shock. Yeah, you missed like an entire yap session of what happened. I'll be uploading a video on it probably on YouTube, so you can check it out then. Sorry you weren't here, man. But I appreciate you being here now. Okay, low straight is pretty cool. Play the 20, hope to top deck a 4. Probably not happening, but it'd be really cool. Nope. Shocker, smashed like. Hand gets it, bro. Hand is locked in. Yeah, I might need to mod that, dude. Well, that was ass. Let's go. New run action. Ace in the opening hand is very... Wow, never mind. I was about to compliment this opening hand. This opening hand is complete ass. That's actually crazy. 1, 2 plus 6 is 8, so we can play the king. Did I say plus 8 is 6? I'm intelligent, man. Smash like. 7 and 6 is 13, 18. Yeah, no, so straight would not work. Does straight work with anything except ace through 5? 6 plus 5 is 11, plus 4 is 15, plus 3 is 18, plus 2 is 20. Right? Did I do that right? I think I did. I wasn't thinking that hard about it, if I'm being honest, so now I'm paranoid that I didn't do it right. But I think you can do either 2 through 6 or ace through 5. Anything else I don't think is possible. Just need my low cards, man. Well, 14. I'm gonna do this. 19. Nice. That's not what I was looking for. I don't know why I said nice. 14, 18, 21. What's the challenge? We're doing a blackjack challenge. So cards that we play cannot score more than 21. And we're doing it on the black deck, gold stake, because I'm doing it on, I decided to do it on gold stake because I'm a masochist. But we're doing it on the black deck because one of my mods said blackjack black deck, and that made me laugh, so now I'm just committed to it fully. Again, ace through 5 would be huge. We can actually do 6 through 11, 15, 18, 20. Yeah, we can do this, and it's perfectly fine. 2 hundo. It actually scores less, but like a straight is a straight, right? Her queens. Her 7s. Believe this wins. Okay. Getting it out of blind 1 seems to be the biggest hurdle. I'm gonna opt for the Lusty Joker, which is probably not that great of a play, but I mean, Raised Fist being perishable is not... I'm not a huge fan of that. Let's go for the Lusty Joker. This is 8 plus 5 is 13. Ship it. Okay, maybe Lusty Joker is not as bad as I think it is. Cool. There goes another one of my dollars. $4 cash out. These are both really bad. Let's just go next. -1 hand size. We probably pass away here, honestly. We'll see. 1822. Can't do that. Don't really know why I kept the pair of 9s, but here I am. God damn it. Play the 20. Play the 20. Really banking on an ace. I guess we did hit this, which might just barely bail us out, but I doubt it. Nope. Nope. All right, 10 more minutes without a successful run, and then we jump to the tier list. That's pretty nice. I'm gonna greed for the full house because full house gets us a ton of money here. That's huge. 17. We win in one hand. We get $2 extra, which doesn't seem like a lot, but money on the black deck is a very good thing. Let's rip the buffoon packs. We need immediate scoring. Wow. Was everything in the shop rental? That's crazy. Everything in the shop was either eternal rental or rental. Just would like to point that out. Okay. Well, that blows. All right, on that note, what's our most played hand? Full house. So let's play aces and 8s. This is 16, 18, 21. Ship it. Let's play... We can't do that. That's really unfortunate. We can do this. 18. Ship it. Sell the obelisk so it doesn't take my money. And then greed for more aces. That should not have worked. But it did. Smash like. I think this challenge is very doable on a different deck or white stake on black, but together is just luck. Yeah, absolutely. That is 100% a correct consensus there. I think it's definitely doable on black deck gold stake. We just do need to get extremely lucky, which honestly... You're talking to the luckiest man in the world, so like, come on. Flush stuff is really bad. We probably just die here. We'll buy Cheos because we can sell it for $2. We get a free reroll here. Let's buy the glass card, I guess. We're probably still cooked, but like, maybe we can chef something up with that. Glass ace. Ace through 5. This is 15. This is 18. Hello, Ravens T. Welcome in. This is 18. Ship it. We're probably cooked. What would we need to top deck here? I mean, all of our cards are high cards. Like, there's really no feasible way of winning here. Yeah, unfortunate. I thought I was cooking with that obelisk play. It's okay. I like seeing aces in the opening hand. I like seeing the full house aces in the opening hand. Aces and 2s kind of sad. Oh, I thought that didn't win. Okay, never mind. We're chilling. Okay, we get the extra $2. Another good run. Shoot the Moon's pretty nice, actually. Do the debuffed cards count as 0? I'll leave that up to chat, honestly, because that could be fun. I'm going to say no, but if chat overrides me, I'll say debuffed cards count as 0. I'm going to say no, though, just because that makes it harder for me, which I think makes a better YouTube video, and I'm a little clickbait goblin. What is the Joker you want to see in the shop? I mean, for this early in the game, essentially just anything with plus mult. Scholar is really nice because we want to be fixing everything into aces so we can play more cards. We got a hollow Scholar. I'm still really pissed that that didn't pan out. We need plus mult just because plus mult is more important ante-1. But we also are not going to be able to play 5-card hands consistently until we get deck fixing, so we need plus mult into chips pretty much. Which is a big ask, especially when we don't have money, but that's okay. In theory, Shoot the Moon is really good because we're not playing... This challenge does not incentivize us to play our queens at all. So I'm going to take Shoot the Moon here. Phenomenal. 15, ship it. For content, I would say no, but for the mental health factor, I would say yes. Okay, so we're going with no. Beautiful. I mean, I don't like perishable ice cream, but I did just say that we needed plus mult into chips. So I feel like I kind of have to take this or the universe would smite me. I'm greeting for that straight. That straight is so good. Debuffed queen. Shite. This is 9 plus 2 is 11. Should be fine with ice cream. Yes. Okay. Not a terrible run so far. Not, like, incredible by any means, but not bad. Grimbo, if it was not rental, would be awesome here. But as it is, I think we just go next. I do really want this grabber since it's popped up twice. Being able... This is the same ideology as the Pokemon Nuzlocke, where being able to play multiple hands in this challenge is going to end up being an indispensable piece of tech. This is 20. Ship it. Erratic could probably make this challenge really easy. Just hope for a lot of aces. Erratic makes this easy, and as I think you said, but as somebody said, Abandoned deck is like really makes this much easier. Not really loving anything here. We can consistently get through this blind, so I'd say let's just go next. Shit hand. 18 into 20. We don't have a queen, though. Still don't have a queen. 19, ship it. There we go. 20, ship it. I think Scholar Hanging Chad is probably like the ideal build for this challenge, but the odds of that happening are like so astronomically not in our favor, so we shouldn't be relying on that, right? Constellation's not too bad. I don't know if we want to really commit to it though. Let's just rack up some money. Triple ace is pretty nice. We don't have a queen though, so I'm gonna fish for that. Still don't have a queen, so I'm gonna continue to fish for that. All right, huge. Love that for us. Smash like. This is 19. Ship it. Really, dude? This is either 10 or 9. So this is either 19 or 18. Ship it. Okay, really, dude? $20, ship it. Just need to top deck a queen to not die. Thank you. 14 plus 3. Nice. Mr. Schlock, can you Fortnite double pump on me? That's crazy. That sounds so wrong to hear. Scholar Hanging Chat is something I should never hear someone want. Yeah, no, I agree with you, but like, it is a very sad truth. With this run, that is like ideal circumstance for us. Let's just rip this. I mean, realistically, we're probably doing this, right? Even though it does hurt a little bit. Ice cream also passes away this round, so if we don't get anything better in the next shop, we're kind of just dead. Don't hang queen. Oh, shit. That or mime shoot the moon. Yeah, mime shoot the moon is also not bad at all. Needs to be like a Paradolia for aces to make them way more viable some way. Isn't there... Oh, Paradolia for aces. For some reason, I was thinking you were talking about, like, Fib. Which, speaking of which, Fibonacci is, like, incredible in this challenge as well. Anyway. This is 14, 20. Ship it. 18, 21. Two. Ice cream is debuffed. Very sad. Hack could also be pretty okay. Yeah, hack is not terrible. Well, we have no chip jokers. Give me a judgment, please. That is rather unfortunate. Walkie-talkie could also get you there with all fours. Walkie-talkie... I don't know. Walkie-talkie's not that great. It's essentially for this challenge just strictly worse. Scholar. To some extent. I'll just want lucky cards, right? Out of all of these. Can't win them all. Cool. Did I discard a queen? No, I just hung one. 19, ship it. If I'm gonna play a straight, I need at least one queen, preferably two in my hand. This is 13. Ship it. We should just do this. No, it doesn't really matter. Just get rid of our higher cards. 17, ship it. Okay. Need 2 lucky card procs then. Probably not happening. Yep. Excuse me. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. All right. We're going to take a short diversion since we are an hour and a half into stream, like I said. We're going to do the deck tier list. So let me change stream title. Ranking gold stake decks. There we go. Twitch title has been changed. Not gonna lie, this challenge was real buns. I'm sorry to whoever requested it. Honestly, I'm kind of having fun with it purely just because I think it's possible, and so I want it to... I want to beat it. I am gonna come back to that at some point. Stake deck tier list. I didn't make a separate thumbnail for the tier list on YouTube. Damn it. Tier list time? Yippee. Hell yeah, dude. Anyway. Let's see. I'm going to leave the Balatro music on in the background because I think it's funny. Where is my tab here? Okay. Bro said gone shirtless. What do you mean gone shirtless, bro? Okay, I'm gonna rank these in the order that they appear. So it's red. I know it's red, yellow, or red, blue, yellow, green, black, magic, nebula, and that's about where my knowledge peters out. So red, blue, yellow, green, black, magic, nebula, and then it goes ghost, and then I want to say abandoned, right? Or is it zodiac? No, it's zodiac. It is abandoned. Abandoned, checkered, zodiac. Abandoned, checkered, zodiac. And then after that, it's painted anaglyph. I know the rest. It's painted anaglyph, plasma, erratic. And then challenge deck is also there for some reason. But that's, you know, we're fine. Hydrate, I appreciate you, Kevbo. I got you. Also, something that I mentioned earlier this week, but something that I forgot to bring up in the lore update earlier when I was just yapping about how my life sucks and I hate everything. No, I'm just kidding. My freaking canker sores have not gone away. It's been like a week, and these are the worst that I've ever had. So it's not like, it's not something that's like causing me to have pent up emotions like the other shit, right? But it is really annoying that like eating on top of all the other bullshit that I was like worrying about, eating things and drinking things and talking and smiling and laughing all hurt. Herpes, it's not herpes, okay? That's what I thought it was because I'm a stupid idiot. It's not herpes. Herpes is exterior. This is interior. It's canker sores, bruh. I have a friend who's a med student. Okay, I would know this. Just kidding. All right. Let me get the... Do I still have like a window capture? I do. Let's see if it still works. God, I hate OBS anyway. Are we chilling? There we go. Should I maybe go like this? No, you know what? I'm keeping my camera at the size that it was. Name a main character who has gone through more hardships than Mr. Sherpies. Don't call me Mr. Sherpies, bro. All right. So we're good to go. We're ranking these. They were in alphabetical for some reason. I really hope that doesn't happen with the Joker tier list because I don't want to have to drag them all, but we're chilling. Put yourself on the S tier for schlock. I'm not... Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. No, I'm not indulging that request. I'm not indulging that request. I'm not doing that. Anyway. Do this for like... We're going to do this now for decks. For those of you who have not seen the YouTube video on it already, I did achieve Completionist Plus, which is beating every single deck in the game at every single stake, which is just every single difficulty, if you're not like familiar with Balatro all that much, which I don't know why you would be watching me if you weren't, but like smash like anyway. Hell yeah. So now that I have C+, I think I have a pretty good grasp at how, you know, every deck functions, how every deck plays. So we're going to be doing a little tier list action, and then when I get C++, Completionist Plus, which is get a gold sticker on every Joker, beat every God, I can't talk. And then when I get Completionist Plus, which is get a gold sticker with every Joker, which just means beat the hardest difficulty with every Joker, then I will be doing a Joker tier list. So I'm promising a Joker tier list. Probably not going to happen for like a month or two, but it is coming. But we did get Completionist Plus, so we're just we're gonna do the deck tier list right now. This is intended for gold stake, because, you know, it's the quintessential, like, most difficult challenge in Balatro, and so I'm just going to be ranking everything on what Balatro on like the most difficult option that Balatro has to offer, and also because it's like the thing that I have the most experience with, because I've been playing a lot of gold stake to try and get to C+. Can you just put the obvious in F tier? I mean, we're getting to that. I'm ranking these in order, but people in my chat probably know a lot of my opinions already. This is mostly just for like the YouTube frogs. Starting with red deck. I think red deck is a very easy C tier, like middle of the pack, easily something to, you know, it's like a good control variable to rate the other decks on. Red deck is +1 discard, and that's the only advantage that it gives you. Something that is very egregious, something that's very annoying about gold stake is that little blue stake that everybody in the community hates, the -1 discard. Having only 2 discards in blue stake and above really limits the builds that you can make to any... It really limits the builds that you can make with any amount of success at all. Particularly like builds that require 5 cards, 5-card hands, flush and straight and stuff like that, even full house to some extent. When you only have 2 discards and you're building around something like that, unless you have like tech like Mary Andy or like Drunkard or one of the discard vouchers that gives you more discards, you're going to have a lot of runs with those type of builds end in very feels bad moments where you're going to be drawing for your hearts and you're just not going to hit them because you only have 2 discards, or you're going to be drawing for like a 10 through 6 straight and you're just not going to hit an 8 for the same reason. You just get unlucky. And that really sucks. So generally in gold stake, you want to be playing very consistent builds like high card and pair especially, because it has a lot more synergy than high card is something that I enjoy. It's just the most consistent build in the game. Red deck doesn't necessarily make any particular build better, but it makes if you're a big fan of playing 5-card hands, like your full houses, like your flushes, like your straights, it makes those builds a lot more consistent to get in gold stake. A lot of the other decks that don't have the extra discards struggle with diversity unless you get like insane combo pieces for a particular hand. With red stake, God, I'm an idiot. With the red deck, you have a lot more freedom in what to build, just because that extra discard does lead to, while there are still going to be some of those moments where like you're trying to top deck something and it just doesn't happen, it leads to a lot less of those moments. But you know, in general, it doesn't really affect your game. But if you're playing a pair build on like red deck versus any other deck, it doesn't really provide you any benefit. So I think it's a pretty good middle of the pack. It makes more fun builds somewhat more consistent, but it doesn't really provide anything concrete. Blue deck, I think, is either high A or low. No, it's probably not low S. I'll put blue deck in high A. So the plus discard just makes the harder to build around builds more consistent. The plus hand does that because, you know, worst comes to worst, you just use a hand as a discard and then you can find your more, it's more consistent. So blue deck is just, that was really bad. Red deck removes blue stake, that's it, pretty much. That was a really bad explanation of blue deck. Blue deck, I think, is high A tier. The plus one hand ends up being, it's essentially just a strictly better version of red deck, I would say. Obviously, it's not strictly better. There are going to be some builds where you want the discards and yada yada, so saying that it's strictly better is kind of stupid. But in general, having an extra hand is a lot more helpful than having an extra discard, especially if you're playing, you know, pair builds that like to play a lot of hands in order to score. But even just for the early game, hands convert to money. For every hand that you have left over when you beat a blind, you get $1. So on something like blue deck, where you have an extra hand, if you're beating the first, you know, couple of blinds in one hand, you're getting an extra $1 every time, and that can compound with interest to give you even more money. So it's money positive, which is incredible. A big part of gold stake is being able to manage your econ, especially early on. Blue deck helps a lot with that. It gives you the extra hand, which you can use as a discard. So it's essentially just a better, that's why I call it a better version of red deck. If you really want to, you can just use your extra hand as a discard. But also you have that extra fifth hand in case, you know, shit hits the fan and you don't end up scoring as many points as you need. Maybe that fifth hand does bridge the gap and get you to a point where you would be able to win. So I think blue deck is just a much better red deck at its core. Next up is yellow deck. Yellow deck is S tier. This is not my rating, because I am notoriously really bad at playing yellow deck, and I don't know if it's just like I suck at the video game or I get bad shops with yellow deck, but yellow deck was like one of the decks that took me the longest time to beat in our Completionist Plus Gauntlet. But at its core, it doesn't provide you any additional hands or additional discards. But as I said with the blue deck, a big, very big part of winning gold stake runs consistently is managing your econ. And wow, that was a voice crack and a half. Smash like for that. A big part of winning gold stake runs is managing your econ, and especially so early on when you're still, you know, looking to flesh out your build, when you're still looking for early scoring so you don't just pass away. Having that extra $10 starting off with $2 of interest on top of, you know, all of the other money that you're going to be getting from winning blinds and etc. So incredibly good. It's just unbelievable how powerful having that extra $10 early on the yellow deck can make you. So it's definitely an S tier. Green deck, this is going to be controversial, I think. Are you losing frames or is my internet dying? Probably losing frames. Yeah, I'm losing a shitload of frames. I don't know why. I apologize for that being the case, but I am losing a ton of frames. Big sad. I apologize. Green deck, this is probably going to be the most controversial pick on this tier list. I think green deck is another easy S tier. I want to preface this with saying green deck you have to play differently from pretty much any other deck when you're talking about econ. If you don't know what the green deck does, the green deck removes interest entirely. You do not get any interest at all. So like normally in a run, you would get $1 of interest for every $5 you have, up to a cap of $5 per round. Green deck eliminates all of the interest that you would get at all. But in return, for every discard that you have left at the end of a round, you get $1. And for every hand that you have left at the end of a round, instead of getting $1, you get $2. This is not a good deck to learn how to play gold stake on, specifically because, again, a big part of consistently winning gold stake is managing your early econ. Green deck is going to be it's going to be very easy for you to do this on green deck, which is why I say it's an S tier deck. I would say if you're looking to just beat a deck on gold stake just to like flex on your friends or whatever, I don't remember if there's an achievement for beating a gold stake run, but if you're looking to just get one gold stake win, I would say green deck is the best way to do it. Because you don't have to worry about managing your econ. Since you don't have interest, you can just spend freely whatever the green deck gives you. And that can be, while it's generally worse for econ in the long run, it can be much easier for players who are like newer to higher stakes to grasp onto. And so I would say if you're trying to get your first gold stake win, a lot of people say, you know, do it on Plasma because it's the easiest scorer. A lot of people say do it on Checkered because, it's checkered, it's easy, just play flushes, win. A lot of people say yellow deck because the extra money makes the game a lot easier. I just think green deck is the most noob friendly because you don't have to worry about, okay, I need to manage my econ, I need to always be at X threshold to get Y amount of money. You just get money per round. You don't need to worry about interest. You can spend down to 0 in the shop. And pretty much the only punishment that you get for doing so is that the Hermit doesn't do anything, which, like, yeah, it kind of sucks, but if you're new to gold stake, it's not really something that you're worried about. So I think green deck is absolutely an S tier because it removes probably the biggest difficulty factor in gold stake, managing your econ to a T. It just completely removes that from the game entirely. This is the one that my chat was talking about. This is the elephant in the room. Black deck is F tier. I'm not a fan of every deck in this game. Obviously, I have my favorites, and I have my decks that I don't really love to play all that much. But black deck, I think it needs a buff in the new content update. Obviously, we're getting a content update sometime in 2025 for the main, like, Balatro game. That made, like, no sense. I'm gonna re-record that line. Obviously, we're getting a new, like, content update this year sometime in 2025. I genuinely think black deck needs a buff. And I don't know, the +1 Joker slot thing, If you don't know what black deck does, it is +1 Joker slot for -1 hand. This is a trap that a lot of new players, I feel like, myself included, fall into. Because when I was playing my first runs, I was like, oh, all of my scoring is coming from my jokers. So, like, black deck is insane, because if I have one less joker, you know, or if I have one more joker, you know, who cares if I have one less hand? Because I'm just going to be, you know, my jokers are going to be giving me all these points, and I'm just going to be scoring in one hand anyway. So, like, who cares if I have one less hand if I'm always beating the blind in one less hand? And that kind of works in the lower stake, white stake especially, because it's the most, white stake is giving you the most money out of any of the difficulties. So like white stake, I can kind of see that ideology. If this was a white stake tier list, I might put black deck in like D or even C tier, honestly, just because the +1 joker slot is so impactful. The problem is, again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, the -1 hand, when you're wanting to manage your econ, especially early on in the run, the -1 hand, in the same way that the +1 hand is so beneficial on blue deck, the -1 hand is so incredibly detrimental. A good way that I put, a lot of people in my chat argue with me about, oh, you know, the +1 joker slot is really good, like black deck pops off. And the way I phrase it to people in my chat is black deck is for decks what throwback is for jokers. When you get a throwback run, it's super fun. When you get, let me rephrase that. When you get a throwback run to pop off, a throwback run that pops off is debatably one of the most fun runs to play in just like gold stake gaming. The problem is, 9 times out of 10 that you get a throwback run, it's just immediately dying. And black deck is the exact same way. If you get a black deck run on lock where your econ is managed early on and you get insanely good combo pieces and you just have a phenomenal run, when black deck pops off, it pops off. The problem is the amount of times that you will make it past even ante 3 in black deck are very low unless you're a very experienced player. I mean, I have almost 300 hours in this game, and I still have so much trouble getting black deck off the ground. The -1 hand size is not having more money in the, like, getting a nerf to your money in the early antes of the game especially just snowballs into you not being able to do anything for the late game unless you get incredibly lucky, or unless you are Balatro University on YouTube, who has been playing for thousands of hours and has a PhD in math. Otherwise, you're going to be struggling on black deck. All right, what do we got next? Chat, let me take a drink real quick. Let me do a hydrate redeem of my own. That was actually super tasty. Damn. All right, Magic Deck. Magic Deck is not... I think Magic Deck gets a solid B tier. It's not something that I have an incredibly strong opinion on in any way, shape, or form. Magic Deck is, you get the Crystal Ball voucher along with 2 copies of the Fool. The Crystal Ball voucher, first off, we're going to talk about this with Nebula deck, where one joker slot, nerf black deck. We're going to talk about this in just a second on Nebula deck, how much I hate having one consumable slot. I think having one consumable slot makes Nebula deck really bad. 3 consumable slots with the Magic deck, I mean, there's times where, like, you're happy to see it, but usually I just don't really care that I have 3 consumable slots, if I'm being honest. There's not really that many times where I'm like, oh, whew, I really needed that extra consumable slot from Crystal Ball. That's, like, huge for this run. Obviously, you know, you can blow up if you get really good econ early on and you get, like, a Hermie. You can pop the Hermie for $20, Fool it for another $20, Fool it for another $20. When you have runs like that, insane. You're probably not losing because your money is just set for the entire rest of the run unless you like spend it like an idiot like me. And then you probably rate the Magic deck B tier on a tier list. But I'm never wrong. So if you disagree with me, you are objectively wrong, and you should just stop playing the game because you're terrible at it. No, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. But a lot of the time, the two fools just kind of sit in your hand, and God, I can't talk, man. But a lot of the time, the two fools just kind of chill in your hand until you like need to use them on like an Empress or something, or you would just die. There's not really a lot of times where you care about having the two fools. I feel like it ends up being a lot more impactful than you would actually think it is. Again, if you have like if you get like a good planet card early on, like let's say you get, I don't know, Shortcut really early on, and then you hit a Saturn in like another anti-1 shop, then you just have an automatic level 4 straight, and then you're kind of cooking. But like the ratio of times where the fools matter to times where the fools don't matter, I just feel like a lot of the times the fools do not pull their weight on the Magic deck. And aside from the fools and the extra consumable slot, the Magic deck provides you no bonus. So I feel like it's just a lot of the time not that great. I would move Magic deck and Red deck around. I think Red deck is worse than Magic deck because Magic deck can pop off. Red deck, the +1 discard is kind of just there so that like you can play straights a little easier, right? Red deck provides consistency, but it doesn't provide value, if that makes sense. Magic deck at least provides value. Not a lot of the time, but like absolute worst case scenario, it provides you with a voucher and two extra dollars. Absolute worst case scenario. So I do think it's better than Red deck. I just don't think it's like insane. Maybe I put it like above Red deck in C tier. You know what? I'm cool with doing that. I'm cool with putting it above Red deck in C tier. But I do think it's better than Red deck. All right, next we have Nebula deck. Before I got to Gold Stake, I didn't envision myself putting any decks in D or F tier besides Black deck. I think Nebula deck's a D tier. I don't know if that's a controversial take at all. Again, if you disagree with me, you're just wrong, so you should maybe just like pack it up and stop playing Balatro. I gotta stop being so mean. The -1 consumable slot, I talked about this again with Magic deck. The +1 for Magic deck doesn't a lot of the time feel super impactful. The -1 consumable slot with Nebula deck, first off, feels really bad. There's a lot of times where you want to be holding one consumable and then have room for another consumable that you just like burn. Maybe you have a Hermit that you hold on to, and then you just have an extra slot for like, oh, if you get a planet from like a blue seal or something, you can pop it. Something like that. Having the -1... I just beat the shit out of my mic. That's my bad. Having the -1 consumable slot just feels bad like almost all of the time. You'll catch me saying that like all the time in Nebula deck because I'll have like a Fool that I'm holding, and then I'll try to like buy a Temperance for when I have a full Joker lineup, and it'll be like, nope, you only have one slot, but I'll just like muscle memory into thinking that I have two, and then I'll just be like, God, I hate only having one slot. And that's like a very common complaint that I have. The other issue is I really don't like that it gives you Telescope at the beginning of the run. And you might be thinking, Focus Shock, what are you, an idiot? Telescope is free value. Telescope guarantees that whatever planet pack you open, it guarantees that the build that you're playing around gets scaled with the planet packs. So Focus Shock, are you stupid? Why don't you like Telescope? Let me tell you, dear chatter, why I don't like Telescope. Telescope Anti-2, Anti-3, even Anti-4, phenomenal, maybe not Anti-2. Anti-3, Anti-4, and even beyond, phenomenal voucher, because you probably have an idea of what you're doing. you have, you know, jokers that you're building around, you have a plan for how you're going to win your run, Telescope is really nice. If you're, you know, anti-3 and you have Four Fingers, Droll Joker, the Tribe, and some other thing that cares about flushes that I don't remember, you're going to see a Telescope and you're going to go, oh, we're chilling. I can just scale flushes for the rest of the run. Having an anti-1 on Nebula deck feels really bad because in the early game, you're going to be wanting to play 5-card hands like straights and flushes to guarantee that you get the most amount of money that you can for any particular blind. So in the early game, unless you're planning on playing a flush or straight build, you're pretty much guaranteed to not be getting what you want from your planet packs. Focus Shocker, you stupid as fuck. And if you don't do that and you try and say, okay, let's a trap that I got caught in a lot when I was trying to gold stake it is I was like, okay, 2-pair, very consistent build all around, a lot of stuff that synergizes with it, decent scaling. Let's just force 2-pair. A lot of the times that doesn't work out in your favor because I fall into the same trap that I warn new players about. New players all the time come into my streams, ask me, Focus Shock, what's the best hand to play in a given run? What's the best hand to play to win? And I tell them, none of them, because you should be not going into a run thinking, oh, I'm going to play 2-pair, because you might just not get shit that synergizes with 2-pair, and then you just pass away. And Nebula deck makes experienced players fall into that trap, such as myself, because I just think, oh, 2-pair synergizes with a lot. It scales decently. Let's force 2-pair. And then I don't get any jokers that synergize with 2-pair, so even though I'm scaling it in my planet packs, I still pass away. If you have a build, I just really don't think it's good. I don't know. It incentivizes you to make worse plays early on. It makes it way harder to pivot if you're like trying to scale a green joker or something like that, and then you find something better down the line. I just think early Telescope is really bad. I feel like I didn't get my point across as to why it's bad, but I hope that at least made a little bit of sense. Nebula's fucking useless. Yeah, I agree. Why is Hydrate out of stock? I added a 5-minute timer to it because people would just redeem like 60 Hydrates at a time. And that was funny for the first like 2 times that it was done. And after that, it was just really annoying. And it also caused me to have to piss like 60 times per stream, which was also really annoying. So I have a timer on it. Oh. Excuse me. All right, next up is Ghost Deck. Ghost Deck, I think, is an immediate S tier. Wow, that was a voice crack and a half. Again, smash like for more of that. Ghost Deck, I think, is an immediate S tier. Ghost Deck makes it so that you get a free Hex card when you load into the game, and additionally, Spectral cards can spawn in the shop. Now, obviously, for like high score cases, this is really good for like Nana Inf, because if you get a Perkio seed, you can just copy a bunch of cryptids, get Nana Inf. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Gold Stake. But it's still really phenomenal for Gold Stake. If you find, especially early on in the run, there are a lot of common jokers that you're going to be finding anti-1 in your shop where they're going to be your first pickup. And you can just immediately, like Green Joker, for instance, Grimbo. Grimbo is phenomenal. You find that, John, in the first shop on a Ghost Deck run. You just immediately pop your Hex on it. You have a joker that you're going to be keeping for the entirety of your run, building around. And now it's guaranteed polychrome. So the Hex, I would already say, even if this deck was just you spawn with Hex and that's it, I would already put it probably high A, maybe low S. But also the fact that you can spawn, not tarot cards, spectral cards in the shop there are a lot of spectral cards that are just going to be giving you value for your entire run. Even the crappier ones that I don't find myself taking a ton, incantation, stuff like that, that'll at least maybe give you gold cards every once in a while that gives you value. If you have like a hologram, that's really nice. But especially like Immolate, best spectral card in the game, gives you a ton of value. Ankh, if you maybe used your Hex card on a Eternal Joker that you picked up, you can just get a free second copy of it with Ankh. You know, purple and blue seals that are just going to be providing you value for the entire game. The Hex that it provides is already an insanely great thing to have that early on in the run for establishing, you know, something that you're going to build around, establishing strength early on. The spectral cards that are also going to be appearing in the shop are just kind of icing on the cake. Obviously, you can make the argument of like, okay, well, you know, they might appear in the shop over like a Joker that I would need. I don't care. Spectral cards a lot of the time are going to be much more good than harm. So people don't spam it constantly? Yeah, pretty much. Ankh Madness goes so stupid. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like really niche strategies that are funny on Ghost Deck. Ankh Madness is like a really good one. Ankh Joker Stencil on Ghost Deck. I mean, there's just a lot of goofy synergies that you can make pretty much for free on the Ghost Deck. So I just think it's phenomenal. Speaking of phenomenal decks, and also ones that I'm bad at piloting, but I think that's just a skill issue and or a shop luck issue, but we're not going to talk about that. I always say blaming your shops in Balatro is like blaming your teammates in a team game. Can you sometimes get a really bad shop? Yeah. If you're losing like 5 games in a row, though, is it usually just a skill issue? Yeah. Anyway. Speaking of phenomenal decks, Abandoned Deck, I think, is an automatic S tier. A lot of people, you know, photo Chad brains like me might look at the Abandoned Deck first glance and go, okay, well, I'm missing face cards, which face cards are the most powerful synergy in the game. You have, like, your Baron Mime, Nana Inf, TikToks, where you see Raffle have, like, 60 cards in his hand, and, you know, the funny ASMR thing happens, and that's, like, yippee. Photo Chad is like the most memed build in the game because Photo Chad, if you find a photograph and a hanging Chad, it's literally just a free win as long as you're not like a complete lobotomite or like a goldfish playing the video game. So on first glance, newer players might be like, Abandoned Deck, this shit sucks, man. It's removing the most powerful synergy in the game. To which I would say, you know, you're using your resources. You're saying, oh, this removes powerful synergy. That's bad. That's, you know, it's a good idea to have, but it is the wrong idea to have. Deck fixing to make your builds more consistent is incredibly powerful, especially in Gold Stake where you have the lower amount of discards. Especially on, again, 5-card runs. We talked about this with discard. There's going to be some times where you just, you know, you are fully capable of winning, but you just get really horrible luck. You top deck absolute dog shit, and you just end up losing because you got unlucky, and in your deck of 18 cards, you drew 4, and 9 of them were hearts. You didn't draw a single heart, right? And that just feels bad. Abandoned Deck being a much smaller deck to start off with, your early game, Abandon in S is nuts, bro. It's at minimum BA tier. No, it's definitely S. It's lower S, I'll give you that, but it's definitely S, bro. Anyway, what was I saying? Your early game is going to be slightly harder because there's a lot less lines that you can take, especially, you know, round 1, ante-1 small blind. There's a lot less lines that you can take to win in one hand on Abandoned Deck and, you know, really maximize your money. But the deck fixing that is already handed to you on a silver platter, having a deck that is 12 cards thinner, it's just going to end up being phenomenal. Obviously, you know, I meme on it all the time. There's going to be points with the Abandoned Deck where you beat a blind and you see a photograph and a faceless Joker in your shop. That's going to feel like shit. It just is what it is, you know. Sometimes your shop cucks you and it feels bad. But in general, having the deck fixing is going to make whatever strategy you end up playing much more consistent, and having the, having a thinner deck is going to end up playing much more into your benefit than it is to your detriment. Furthermore, any enhanced cards on abandoned deck automatically are buffed, essentially, because if you have like a molt card, instead of it being if you use like one Empress from an Arcana pack in the shop, instead of it being a 2 in 52 chance of drawing one of those cards, it's going to be a 2 in 40 chance of drawing one of those cards, which is not like a huge buff, but it is significant, especially when you're going to be seeing less cards every game because of the -1 discard on gold stake. So any enhanced card, any sealed card, any card with a treatment like polychrome or anything like that is just automatically buffed. It's just a really phenomenal deck for consistency, and it's just really good, man. That's all I got to say. I'm pretty sure a goldfish has actually beat white stake. If you're in the Discord, you got to link that, because I do want to see that now. Checkered deck, I think, is A tier. Checkered deck makes it replaces the traditional hearts, diamonds, clubs, spades setup with 26 hearts, 26 spades. This is going to make it, I mean, it's obvious what it wants you to do. It wants you to turn your brain off and play flushes. For the lower stakes, this is going to be baby mode easy. Your early game is going to be brain dead easy, and even on higher stakes, your early game with this deck is debatably, unless you get like insane luck on the erratic deck, which we'll talk about later, your early game is probably going to be the easiest it's ever going to be with this deck, which of course, I've said it like a billion times so far, really helps with your early econ, scoring in one hand in the first blind, getting that, getting your money up, being able to accrue interest very early on. It's very nice. Obviously, you don't need different suits to play like pair builds, so it's essentially just a strictly better version of like just a baseline deck, right? I mean, obviously, that's like stupid. I would put it on top of A, because if you look at the other decks on S, it's lackluster. Well, you're disagreeing with the streamer, so you're objectively wrong. Sorry. Checkered deck S plus tier. I already see it. No, definitely not S plus tier. Your early game is going to be much easier because you're just going to be playing flushes. If you're somebody who loves flush runs and you just love turning your brain off playing flushes, completely fine. This is a very easy deck to pilot to a first gold stake win as well, because again, you just play flushes, and as long as you're paying attention to like what your bosses are and you don't come across the head or the one that debuffs spades, you're going to be pretty much fine. Also, having 2 copies of every heart and 2 copies of every spade, with minimal deck fixing, you can get Flush House online and later Flush 5. So it makes your early game, while it doesn't inherently give you any immediate value, it makes your early game a lot easier, finding those consistent 5-card hand paths to maximize your interest. And it makes your late game easier if you're trying to pivot into like a hidden hand, if you will, like a Flush House or even a Flush 5 if you get really lucky with your deck fixing. Outside of that, it doesn't really do anything, so I can't give it S. I might even move it down to B. In fact, I'm going to. But it is just like a solid, really nice deck. All right, next up is Zodiac. I kind of want to put Zodiac at A. I don't know if that would be overvaluing it, but I like Zodiac quite a bit. I'm a big overstock enjoyer. Seeing more things in the shop is always very nice. I'm not a mathematician by any means, so I don't know the statistics of it, but I'm pretty sure the amount, even though you have the planet card voucher and the tarot card voucher, I'm pretty sure once you factor in overstock, the amount of planet cards and the amount of tarot cards that you end up seeing in your shops is the exact same. I don't know that for certain, so don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that is the case. But even though it gives you, even though it doesn't like inherently, give you more hands or give you extra money or anything like that, getting 3 vouchers off of the out of the pool, and especially the Planet and Tarot voucher, which are usually like kind of cheeks. It's really nice because you're going to be more consistently finding vouchers that you care about, like Grabber, like Wasteful, like, you know, Reroll Surplus, stuff like that. So that's really nice, but also just like seeing more things in the shop is very nice. It's very fun just to be able to see an extra card in the shop and see all the funny little cards and their prices in the shop. It's very, you know, goo goo gaga funny numbers. But it is also just really beneficial to have that extra shop slot. Sometimes, you know, maybe in a traditional run, you would see a really crappy shop and then you would re-roll, and the first thing that you see after the re-roll is really good. In a run that already has Overstock with Zodiac deck, you're just going to see that really good card in the shop, which that's a really niche example, but like it happens more than you would think. So, you know, getting the vouchers out of the pool provides you an insane amount of value, especially 3 vouchers right away. I mean, pretty much any voucher that you're going to run into after this is going to be phenomenal, except for like maybe Planet Tycoon. But that's besides the point. Maybe we'll do a vouchers tier list. Should I do like the really cringe, like generic YouTuber thing? If this video gets 200 likes, we'll do a voucher tier list. Smash that like button, baby. But anyway, I wouldn't be opposed to doing a voucher tier list, honestly. So I'm gonna, yeah, you know, I memed on like the cringe YouTubers just then, but I am serious. If it gets to 200 likes, I'll do it. I'll do it. Just generically very good, even though again it doesn't provide you any like concrete value. It is very nice to just get those vouchers out of the pool, so you get more, you know, more impactful vouchers in the shop, and just to be able to see more things in the shop. Very nice. In quotes, that is exactly what Zodiac is. It's incredible. I agreed on the checkered A tier. B is criminal. I mean, I haven't played it in a long time because checkered deck I got gold stake on the first out of any of them. So like maybe I'm just kind of sleeping on it and I'm an idiot, but I really think it's overhyped. Like I don't it's also kind of a personal thing because I don't like flush runs all that much. I'm way more of a straight run guy, which that's kind of a skill issue because flushes are more consistent. But I don't know. I just think it's overvalued. It's very user friendly, but like it doesn't really give you much value. I don't know. What's with his mic? Did it cut out? My bad. I like Zodiac because arcane packs are not my friend, so being able to see tarot cards in shop helps a lot. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's very nice. If you're unlucky, I mean, you can still get unlucky in the shop, so I'm not going to count that as like any tangible value, but like it is kind of just nice. Unlurk, welcome back. Serial designation F. Can I just call you F? I've never actually like asked you, I don't think. Can I just call you F? I think I have just called you F in the past. Why are emotes not showing up in my chat? This is actually like making me pissed. Real quick, I just want to go to my just chatting. Does this... Okay, it's literally not showing like the baseline Twitch emotes in my chat. That's kind of freaky. I like checkered because of consistent... Okay, the most recent 2 chats summed up my opinion on checkered deck to a T. I like checkered because of consistency, followed by it's boring. Agree with both of those takes. It's very consistent, very nice. If you just want to turn your brain off and have a Balatro run where you probably win, you're picking checkered deck, but it plays pretty much the same way every time. I'm not gonna lie. All right, painted deck. I think painted is kind of slept on. I feel like not a lot of people like painted just because you get to use less jokers, and sometimes that's really sad. But I think painted is pretty good. Where do I rank it though? Do I really think it's A? I don't know if painted is on the same level as like blue deck and Zodiac. I might move Zodiac to B. I don't know. I really like Zodiac, but I don't know if it's on the same level as blue deck. No, you know what? It is. Seeing more stuff in the shop is really nice. You know what? I'm going to have chat vote on the 2. I'm torn between A and B for painted deck. I'm going to have chat vote on where I place it. We're going to run a poll right here. If you're watching the YouTube video, watch my streams live. I stream on YouTube and Twitch. The link to the Twitch is in the description, and you're watching the YouTube channel, so you don't need a link to that. 11 p.m. American Central Time every single night except for Sunday. Painted deck rating A, B. We're going to do a 2-minute poll real quick. Chat, vote for the painted deck rating. Vote for what you want to see me rate painted deck as. I'm torn between A and B, so whatever gets the most votes, I will be putting it there. Go vote in the poll, chat. All right, we're tied. Oh, now we're at 2-1 A to B. So it's looking like people are saying A. I'm actually kind of surprised about that. I feel like most people that are like in my chat don't really mess with painted deck. Bro said smash like. All right, quit stealing my line, bro. Just kidding. I haven't used painted deck enough to say, but I really like Zodiac. Yeah, I really like Zodiac as well. My Zodiac and A might just be like personal bias because I really do like Zodiac. I also just think it's really good, but it might just be biased because I think it's really nice, and my chat likes it, so like I'm also kind of siding with my chat. Ooh, bit of an upset. Okay, this is kind of more what I was expecting. 2-4 for B. Chat, vote in the poll if you have not already voted already. If you're lurking, that's okay. Vote in the poll. You don't have to say anything. You can just vote anonymously. Vote in the poll. I'm a big fan of consistency, and Zodiac feels more consistent. That's fair. It is just really nice to just like see more things in the shop and have more options of where you want to take your run, right? All right, we're coming to a close on the poll. How much time do we have left? Haven't tried it enough to have an opinion. That's fair. That's fair. I respect y'all for not, you know, voting if you don't have a constructed opinion on it. All right. The poll has ended. We had a total of 6 votes. Smash like for our voters. B won 4-2. So I think both A and B are respectable for painted deck. I was leaning more towards B. So painted deck is -1 Joker slot, but +2 hand size. I feel like a lot of people don't like painted deck because of the -1 Joker slot, which again, like it feels kind of bad not having an extra Joker sometimes. There are runs where you're gonna want that 5th Joker, and it's gonna feel kind of bad. But in general, hand size is incredibly powerful. You can find 5-card hands more consistently. You can find, I mean, I say 5-card hands, you can find any hand more consistently. If you're drawing 10 cards in a turn as opposed to 8 cards, you're going to be much more, when you discard down, you're going to be able to find like straights and flushes easier. And if you're not discarding down, you're going to be able to find pairs and high cards easier. Well, I mean, high card you always have. But you're going to be able to find your pairs and 2 pairs easier just because you're drawing more cards at the beginning of the blind. So the -1 Joker can feel bad, and when it does feel bad, it feels really bad. But I think the +2 hand size is just, overall, I think the +2 hand size feels a lot better than the -1 Joker slot feels bad, if that makes sense. Like, I guess a better way of putting it is the +2 hand size is much more of an upside than the -1 Joker slot is a downside, right? So I don't think it's like phenomenal. I do think it's slept on though. I think the hand size is just really, hand size is just very generically powerful. Gold cards, obviously, blue seals, stuff like that. Very nice. Solid B. I think that's deserved. Anaglyph? Anaglyph I kind of want to put in D. I feel like putting Anaglyph in D would piss a lot of people off, but I kind of want to put it in D. I'm going to put it C, but I'm going to put it hard stuck bottom of C. I might make like a C- tier for Anaglyph. No, I'm not going to do that. But Anaglyph is definitely minus. It's definitely the bottom of C. Like, if C is 70% and higher, Anaglyph deck got a 70%. You know what I mean? On white, I would put it in A, but with black, staking can be pretty bad. If you ever want to change your build, it gets rough. That's kind of fair. Yeah, I didn't even really think of Eternals. It does feel really bad with Eternals. But I mean, if it's also just like if you're taking an Eternal on painted deck that you're not going to be able to pivot out of, I feel like that's kind of just a skill issue. I don't know. Yeah, Anaglyph is direct bottom of C. So Anaglyph is whenever you beat a boss blind, you get a double tag. The double tag is really fun when it pops off. This is another black deck problem, in my opinion. It doesn't give you any value outside of the double tags, which I am already not a fan of skipping blinds whatsoever. I think if you are skipping for anything other than investment tag or like maybe coupon tag, if you're playing black deck and your shops are like terrible. Water break mid-sentence, my bad. No, you know what? Not even coupon tag on black deck. If you're skipping for anything other than investment tag or like maybe juggler tag, well, there are a lot of skips where they have niche, they have like niche applications, but in general, if you're skipping for anything other than investment tag, you're a psychopath. I am already like not a big fan of skipping at all. Is it fun to do? Yes, skipping is fun, objectively. I know I joked about like how my opinions are objective on this channel. That is an objective fact. Skipping blinds is funny, but in general, your win rate's going to go down the more you skip, I would say. But a lot of the times on Anaglyph deck, you're just going to be stockpiling all of these tags. We had my final C+ run. It's on YouTube right now. It's the run where I like announce we won C+. That was a run where I got like 11 investment tags because of Anaglyph over the course of the run. We had a really goofy build where we just needed a bunch of money for like generically powerful times mult jokers. So we skipped like 4 separate times for I think like almost $250 worth of investment tags. In that circumstance, really fun deck, really powerful deck. The problem is, again, with the black deck, like 9 times out of 10 on the black deck, you're not making it past ante 3 because you're just struggling so much financially. 9 times out of 10 on Anaglyph deck, especially early on in the game, you're really just not finding anything that you want to skip for. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you want to skip for in the early game, you're not going to have you're not going to get any intrinsic value off of it because you're not going to have a ton of double tags unless it's like something super impactful, again, like investment tags. And in the late game, if you don't get good skips, you're just sitting on a bunch of double tags with a deck that is essentially just challenge deck. It provides you absolutely nothing aside from the double tags. So it's just very much so another black deck situation where when it pops off, negative skips, another really good example. If you get a negative skip where you have like 6 or 8 double tags, hilarious, fun, very powerful, very funny. In that case, it's an S tier deck. Maybe not an S tier deck. For fun scale, S tier, easily. S+ tier, I dare say. But in the grand scheme of just like winning runs, a lot of the time you don't really care about the double tags, and then you're just playing the most generic deck that you can possibly play, which feels really bad a lot of the time. So I just think it's not that good. Plasma deck is an easy S with a big caveat, probably at the bottom of S. I'm going to put green deck maybe at like second to bottom of S. I'm going to put plasma at the bottom of S, which sounds really stupid, but plasma is the same thing as green deck, where plasma deck scoring is insane. So once you get accustomed to plasma deck, you are going to have the time of your life scoring gigantic numbers. You're probably going to get your first E run with the plasma deck just because it's that easy to get to score E if you're playing plasma and you've been playing for more than like 10 hours. Especially if you're on a gold stake level, you're experienced enough to get E in Plasma Deck, even in a gold stake run. The problem with Plasma Deck is you have to be accustomed to it in order to pilot it correctly, or it's gonna go horribly. With white stake, when you only have to score 100k to beat the final boss, you can essentially just invest everything that you have in chips, and as long as you don't play again like a complete like troglodyte, you know, knuckle dragging idiot, you're going to be completely fine. You're going to score out, and it's going to be fun. But in higher stakes, gold stake especially, where you need 400,000 points instead of 100,000 to score out of the final boss, you're not going to be able to just chips max for the entire game unless you get like a really goofy strategy, like, you know, Wii hanging Chad, something like that, right? Where you just have like an obscene amount of chips. So you're going to have to kind of, it's the same thing with green deck, where once you get accustomed to it, it's very easy, but you're going to have to get accustomed to it for it to be easy. It's very hard to know when to pivot to times mult in Plasma, and a lot of times if you pivot to times mult in an incorrect spot, you're not going to score enough. You're just going to pass away. It's going to feel really bad. But once you get accustomed to the Plasma deck, it's one of the easiest decks in the game to play by far. The balancing of each side of the score is just such an incredibly powerful. It's such an incredibly powerful mechanic that you're usually not really going to care about any potential downside that it may have. But you do kind of have to reinvent the way you play Balatro, because normally you spend the entire game. Excuse me. Normally you spend the entire game on any other deck looking for times mult. And you should still be looking for times mult in Plasma, but a lot of the time in Plasma, in the early game, you're going to be wanting all the chips in the world instead of all the mult in the world, and that can be, you know, kind of weird for newer players. So I would just say, if you're at a gold stake level, you probably know it well enough to where it's going to be an automatic S tier, but it's an S tier with caution, right? Plasma's really good at punishing players. Yeah, pretty much. It's very easy to lose in Plasma if you aren't paying attention. Exactly that. Or get unlucky. Yeah. All right. Erratic deck. I know this one's going to piss people off. This is more of a personal issue than like an objective take on the deck. I think erratic deck's a C tier. I'm not really a huge fan of erratic deck. This is definitely a personal thing. Erratic just makes every card in your deck random. So there's like the really funny bugged seed where you just have 52 copies of the 10 of spades. That's hilarious. But on a regular run, you're probably going to have, you know, statistically, you should have the same amount of every suit and like one of each rank. Maybe not one of each rank. I don't really know how this... I'm not a statistician, okay? Talk to Kita in my chat if you want that. I'm going to just re-record the entire intro for erratic deck because that was like such a mess. There's going to be runs with the erratic deck where it's like really funny, like the infamous bugged seeds where you just get 52 copies of the 10 of spades. That's hilarious. Everybody loves that. But a lot of the time you're just going to have like a really jank build. Even if you get something really good, like I'm a guy who likes face cards despite the fact that I put Abandon deck in S tier. Much to the dismay of my chat, apparently. I'm a guy who really likes face card strategies, but even on a run where I get like, you know, 8 kings, 7 queens, and I don't know, 5 jacks, it's erratic deck is just very awkward. I feel like if you don't have somebody in my chat just said memeability S tier. Yeah, for fun runs, erratic deck is S+, and it's not close. Erratic deck is the most fun deck in the game, but a lot of the time, your deck being random every single run that you play with it, especially in gold stake where you have so many restrictions with like perishable tags and rental tags and stuff like that, just shit that you don't want to be carrying in your Joker lineup at all, you're really going to have to lock in to like finding something that works in erratic deck, because you're not going to have just the generic 52 cards, you know, 4 suits, 13 of each rank per suit, or 1 of each rank per suit. I'm intelligent, smash like. And a lot of the times you're just going to have to like pick something very early on. Like if you see you have a ton of face cards, you're just going to go, okay, I'm playing full house, maybe flush house faces. And if you just don't get stuff for that, you're kind of just screwed. Or if you don't find, you know, or if you have like a lot of spades and a lot of hearts and you go, okay, I'm going to play spades. And you grab, you know, jokers and deck fix for spades, and then you hit the spades boss, which skill issue if you're not paying attention to your bosses first off. But it's just a lot of hassle for not a lot of payback. If you get a fun erratic deck run, it's not a bad run by any means, but it's just a deck where it's really annoying, in my opinion, to have to pivot to a certain strategy every time. Again, this is a personal thing and it is a skill issue. I know that everybody in the comments is going to be yelling at me for this, but it's just really awkward every single run that you boot up with the erratic deck to have to like check your deck before you even play a hand, just so you can be like, okay, God, that was a crazy voice crack. It's really awkward to just have to check your deck before every run and be like, okay, I have this many of this rank, this many of this suit, so I can be doing, instead of a normal run where early game I'm going to be playing like flushes and straights until I get like jokers that do things, I want to be doing this, 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 and this for this entire run. And if I get, you know, if I have 1, 2, 3 3s, 2 4s, and no 5s, and I come across like an Eternal Hack in my shop, I mean, Eternal Hack is already going to feel really bad in my opinion. I really don't like Hack that much, but like in that scenario, it's just going to feel even worse. In a game state like Gold Stake, where so much of your shop is going to be kind of worthless, for lack of a better term anyway, I feel like Erratic deck just makes a lot of the shop even more worthless, because if you don't have enough cards to pertain to a certain strategy, you're going to have more trouble pivoting into it, and it's just going to feel bad. The worst feeling on Erratic is where you get like 15 aces. Aces are just there. Yeah, justice for aces, man. My 3 things that I want for the new content update in 2025. Buff aces, buff black deck. I don't know how you would do it without just breaking it, but buff black deck. Buff Ceremonial Dagger, man. We're going to talk about... Ceremonial Dagger is going to... I meme a lot about how I hate Bootstraps and how I think Bootstraps is the worst Joker in the game. I don't actually think Bootstraps is the worst Joker in the game. I think it's bad. I think it's F tier. I think Ceremonial Dagger is a tier below F. We'll talk about that again when I make the Joker tier list, but God, is Ceremonial Dagger just really bad. And it's a really interesting Joker, so I feel bad that it's so bad, but man, it is just awful. If I could handpick, if Local Thunk himself came to me and said, Focus Shock, pick one thing that you want in the new content update, and no matter how stupid or hilarious it is, or how game-breaking it is, I will implement it. I would say, I don't know how you would do it, but I would say, please just buff Local Thunk. I'm begging you. Buff Ceremonial Dagger, man. It sucks. At the bare minimum, make it a common, man. That shit should not be an uncommon. You're telling me Burglar and Madness and Ceremonial Dagger are on the same wavelength? No, not at all, man. Anyway, that's more so a rant for the Joker tier list. That's out of the way. And then we have challenge deck here, which I haven't done all of the challenges, so I don't even think I've done like the majority of them. I think I've only done 4 or 5. So I'm very not well equipped to rank the challenge deck, but all the challenges that I've played have been very fun and very well thought out, so I'm just going to give the challenge deck an arbitrary S rating, just because every challenge that I've played has been pretty fun. So that's my tier list. Kind of weird that it's painting an F. Maybe black deck is the friends that we made along the way. Am I right, or am I right? But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the YouTube video, if you're watching this on YouTube. I'm probably also going to end stream right now for my stream chat. So stream chat, thank you so much for coming along. But anyway, yeah, that's my tier list. Again, if you disagree with me, you're horrible at the game, you should just stop playing Balatro entirely, because you're wrong. You develop really bad opinions, and that's going to get you into some really bad habits. So you should just quit the game, honestly, if you disagree with any of my ratings, because I am a paragon of truth and objectivity. Is that even a word? It is now, when it comes to Balatro. But yeah, love you guys. Thank you for watching. Smash like. God, I can't talk, man. It's been a week. If the commentary video hasn't already been posted, it'll be posted. It's been a week. But anyway, love you guys. Thank you for watching the tier list. Joker tier list coming again probably in a month. I'm just going to do it whenever I get C++. I promised the voucher tier list at some point if this video gets a bunch of likes. So smash that like button. Love you guys. See ya. Peace out. Love y'all. Okay, that's the end of the YouTube outro. Challenge is God tier? Yeah, I agree. Challenge is pretty cool. I need to do more challenges on stream. Chat, should we do challenge streams? I want to get C++ before I do challenges, but maybe I should do both. Black is focused, yellow is shocked. Wait, what? I'm so confused. What were we talking about black and yellow for? Chat, am I an idiot? I'm probably just stupid. I'm probably just stupid, but I don't understand that reference at all. I'm quitting as we speak. Good man. Never play again. Just kidding. All right, but yeah, that's going to do it for tonight's stream for right now. Thank you guys again for coming out and supporting me. Thank you for not just abandoning me and leaving me to the dust, even though I just kind of dropped dead for literally like how long? Like 3 days. I appreciate that from y'all. Excuse me. And yeah, that's all I got. Obviously I don't stream on Sundays, so tomorrow I'm going to be taking off. I might stream tomorrow just because I missed so many days, but don't count on it. F for focus. It's really the Focus Shock tier list. You're so right. Wait, you're actually so right. You're a genius. Smash like for that. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. Probably not going to stream tomorrow. I might, again, just because I missed so many days, but I wouldn't count on it. Probably not streaming tomorrow. So I'll be back on Monday. We'll do some C++ stuff since we didn't do much tonight. It was mostly just me yapping and then doing a random challenge. But yeah, thank you guys so much for popping in and checking on your boy. Stay safe, sleep well, and have a good one, fellas. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your weekend.